The courtroom is supposed to be the end of the road. It's where the chaos of crime finally meets the calm of justice, where killers face their punishment and the victims' families, at last, get to breathe again. But sometimes, the courtroom becomes more terrifying than the crime itself, because every so often, a convicted killer, already proven guilty, already facing decade behind bars, looks the judge straight in the eye and makes a chilling promise. I'll kill again. And next time it could be you. Imagine sitting in that room, the killer shackled in front of you, the echo of those words hanging heavy in the air, deputies rushing in, families gasping, the judge pounding the gavel shouting order, but knowing full well that in that moment there is no order, only fear. Today, we're telling the story of one such case, a convicted murderer who, inside the courtroom, vowed that prison wouldn't stop him. He threatened to kill again, and the target of his rage wasn't a stranger. It was someone sitting just a few feet away. The story begins months earlier, on a cold night in a quiet neighborhood. A man named Derek Cole, 24 years old, stormed into a small house armed with a handgun. His target? A young couple in their 30s. Derek believed they had cheated him in a drug deal, but what was supposed to be a confrontation spiraled into horror. He fired multiple shots, killing the husband instantly and leaving the wife gravely injured. Neighbors heard the screams and the gunfire. Police arrived within minutes, finding Derek still inside the home, the gun in his hand. He didn't resist arrest. In fact, he reportedly smiled as he was handcuffed, muttering, he had it coming. The community was outraged. The brutality, the coldness, the lack of remorse. It shook everyone. Prosecutors quickly charged him with murder, attempted murder, and weapons violations. At trial, the evidence was overwhelming. Ballistic tests matched the bullets to Derek's gun. Eyewitness testimony confirmed his presence. And the surviving victim, the wife, took the stand and, through tears, pointed straight at him, saying, "That man tried to kill me. He murdered my husband, and he told me I'd be next." The jury didn't take long. Guilty on all counts. But what made this case unusual wasn't the verdict. It was what happened next. During the sentencing phase, Derek's defense attorney pleaded for mercy. He argued that Derek was young, that he had grown up in poverty, that he had fallen into violence because of the people he surrounded himself with. But the prosecutor countered with something that chilled the room. Derek had reportedly told fellow inmates in the county jail, "This ain't the end for me. I'll do it again. I'll kill anybody who tries to keep me locked up." The judge, listening carefully, leaned forward. The families of the victims were in the gallery, clutching tissues, waiting for justice. And then the sentence came down. Derek Cole, for the crime of murder in the first degree, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The words echoed across the courtroom. The victim's family gasped, tears streaming down their faces. Relief, sadness, closure. But Derek? He didn't flinch. He didn't cry. He didn't even look surprised. Instead, he leaned forward in his chair, his eyes burning like coals, and spat out the words that no one expected to hear. "Life? You think this is over? I'll kill again. And when I do, it'll be one of you." Gasps exploded from the gallery. The judge froze, his face pale. Deputies lunged forward, grabbing Derek by the shoulders as he thrashed violently. But he wasn't done. Even as they dragged him to the floor, he screamed, "You can't stop me. Not the judge, not the jury, not anybody. I'll finish what I started." The courtroom descended into chaos. Reporters scribbled furiously, capturing every word. Victims' families clutched each other, sobbing. Jurors, some of whom had returned for the sentencing, looked terrified, realizing that the man they convicted wasn't just a killer. He was a killer who wasn't finished. It took 6 deputies to subdue him, strapping him into restraints as he continued to spit threats. The incident made headlines instantly. Convicted killer threatens judge in court. Life sentence followed by death threat. The judge, visibly shaken, ordered additional security for himself and the prosecution team. The victim's family was escorted home under police guard. And Derek? His words sealed his fate. Prosecutors filed additional charges for threats against a public official. The prison system placed him in solitary confinement immediately, labeling him a high-risk inmate. Inside, he continued to boast. Letters intercepted from his cell showed him writing, "They think I'm done. I'll never be done." The chilling reality set in. Prison hadn't broken Derek. If anything, it had only fueled his rage. Courtrooms are meant to represent safety, justice, order. But in moments like this, when a killer looks into the eyes of a judge and threatens to kill again, that illusion shatters. The gavel, the deputies, the walls of the courthouse, they feel powerless. For the victims' families, it means the nightmare doesn't end with a guilty verdict. For the lawyers and judges, it means the very system they protect becomes a target of violent promises. And for the rest of us, it's a chilling reminder. Sometimes the most dangerous words aren't whispered in the dark streets. They're shouted in the very place we expect the most safety, inside a courtroom. This is the story of killers who threatened to kill again in court. If you were sitting in that courtroom when Derek made his threat, how would you feel? Safe, knowing he's locked away for life? Or terrified, knowing his rage still burns? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more chilling true crime stories like this one, make sure to subscribe, because next time we'll be covering a case even darker. Until then, remember, justice may be blind, but killers, they never stop watching.